Why do some men over 60 feel energized, confident, and deeply connected, while others quietly struggle with intimacy and self-worth? What if the key difference isn't just in your mindset, but in how you take care of one vital part of your body? Because just like your heart, your brain, or your bones, your penis ages too. And ignoring that fact can cost you more than you think. I'm Dr. Mohit Kha, a urologist with over 30 years of experience. And in this video, I'll walk you through 5 science-backed practical strategies specifically designed for men over 60. These aren't just about improving your sexual health. They're about helping you protect your vitality, your pride, and your quality of life as you age. Make sure you watch until the very end. I'll be revealing a bonus tip that most doctors never mention, yet it could help you avoid a painful condition and shift the way you age as a man. Before we dive in, I'd truly appreciate your support. If you find value in this video, hit the like button. It helps us continue spreading important lessons for healthy aging. And if you haven't already subscribed, I recommend you do that now and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future content designed to inform and empower you. And one more thing, I want to hear from you. If you enjoy this video, comment 1 below. If not, comment 0, and let me know how I can make the next one better. Now, let's begin by exploring one of the most overlooked aspects of penile health after 60, the importance of keeping it active. This concept is simple, but it's often ignored. When you stop engaging your penis regularly, your body begins to withdraw its support. Staying sexually active, whether through intercourse, self-stimulation, or other healthy means, isn't just beneficial, it's vital. It helps preserve both function and health as the years go by. In countless conversations I've had with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, one thing becomes clear. A common and deeply ingrained myth often emerges during my conversations with older men. It's the quiet, resigned belief that sexual vitality is bound to fade with age, and that this decline is simply inevitable. Many assume there's no point in trying to change it, and so they quietly accept what they believe is their fate. But here's the truth. That belief is not only incorrect, it can also be dangerously limiting. In fact, accepting that myth can turn it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you stop engaging with your sexual health, you may actually accelerate the very decline you fear. Just like your muscles, your heart, or your brain, your penis depends on consistent use to remain healthy and functional. When ignored, it doesn't just sit idly. It begins to change in ways you may not realize until symptoms emerge. Prolonged periods of sexual inactivity reduce blood flow, limit oxygenation, and cause tissues to lose elasticity. Over time, this can lead to a condition known in medical terms as penile disuse atrophy, a condition that's far more common than many men think, yet entirely preventable. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't about alarm, it's about awareness. Sexual activity, whether with a partner or through solo stimulation, plays a role far beyond pleasure. It's a vital function that keeps penile tissue flexible, well supplied with blood, and responsive. Think of it the same way you'd think of stretching your limbs or exercising your joints. You wouldn't go months without moving your legs, would you? So why assume your sexual health requires any less care? And even if intercourse or masturbation isn't currently possible due to physical, emotional, or life circumstances, that doesn't mean you're out of options. There are medically approved tools, such as vacuum erection devices, that can help stimulate blood flow and maintain tissue health. Additionally, exercises like Kegels, which target the pelvic floor muscles, can significantly improve circulation and support stronger, more consistent erections over time. The most important message? Don't allow long gaps of inactivity to become your norm. Your body, regardless of your age, is responsive and adaptable. When you engage it consistently, it rewards you, not just with better physical function, but with renewed energy and confidence. And let's not overlook the emotional and psychological benefits. Reclaiming this part of your health can renew your sense of self, restore intimacy, and reignite a deeper connection to your identity as a man. For many men, sexual vitality isn't just about physical performance. It's profoundly connected to identity, confidence, and masculinity. When this part of life begins to fade, especially due to neglect or misleading beliefs, it can quietly chip away at self-esteem. Over time, that erosion can lead to a diminished sense of self-worth, making men feel disconnected not just from their partners, but from their own sense of manhood. But there's a different path, one grounded in awareness and intention. By making sexual activity a regular, health-driven priority, within your current physical and emotional boundaries, you're doing far more than maintaining function. You're protecting something deeply personal, your dignity, your confidence, and your pride. And importantly, this isn't about trying to turn back the clock to your 20s. It's about honoring the man you are today, seasoned with wisdom, grounded in experience, and full of value. In my years of working with patients, I've witnessed powerful transformations. Men in their 70s and 80s who took this first step to reclaim their sexual health often found it to be a turning point. What started with restoring one area of life quickly began to uplift others. Their confidence grew, relationships deepened. They found renewed motivation to take better care of their bodies and minds. It's all connected, because when you reclaim control in one area, momentum builds across the board. Now that we've underscored the importance of staying sexually engaged, let's shift to another critical but often neglected component of penile health, one that becomes even more important as the years pass: hygiene. Maintaining proper hygiene might seem like a basic task, but for aging men, it takes on new significance. Cleanliness isn't just about staying fresh. It's a fundamental part of self-care that plays a direct role in preventing disease and promoting long-term health. Over more than 30 years of medical practice, I've seen firsthand how poor penile hygiene is one of the most common, yet preventable causes of health issues in older men. All too often, men come to my office dealing with infections, persistent irritation, or even serious conditions like penile cancer. And many of these problems could have been avoided with consistent, proper hygiene. Many men were simply never taught how to care for their bodies as they age. This isn't a matter of carelessness. It's often rooted in a lack of awareness. As we grow older, our bodies change in ways that demand new routines, especially when it comes to hygiene. The skin becomes thinner and more delicate, making it far more susceptible to irritation. At the same time, the immune system slows down, meaning it takes longer to heal from minor abrasions or to fight off bacterial infections. What worked in your 30s or 40s may no longer be enough by the time you reach your 60s and beyond. For uncircumcised men, the need for attentive hygiene becomes even more essential. Beneath the foreskin, a hidden environment forms, one that can easily trap sweat, dead skin cells, and bacteria. Without proper cleaning, this area can become a breeding ground for infections like balanitis, and in more severe cases, long-term poor hygiene has even been linked to increased risk factors for penile cancer. In countries like Brazil, where penile cancer rates are alarmingly high, studies have shown that inadequate hygiene is the leading contributing factor. The troubling truth is that this risk doesn't fade with age, it actually increases. Fortunately, the solution is straightforward and highly effective. Begin with gentle care. Wash the penis daily using warm water and a mild, unscented soap. Harsh products with strong fragrances or chemicals can irritate aging skin and do more harm than good. For those who are uncircumcised, it's vital to fully retract the foreskin during cleaning to thoroughly reach the glands and surrounding areas. After washing, rinse carefully to make sure no soap residue remains, as leftover product can cause further irritation. Equally important is the final step, drying. Moisture left behind, especially in skin folds, can create the perfect environment for bacterial or fungal growth. Use a soft towel and take a moment to pat the area dry completely. This routine should be a part of your everyday hygiene, and it's especially important after sexual activity. Lubricants, vaginal fluids, and natural body oils can disrupt the delicate microbial balance of the skin and should always be cleaned off promptly. What many men don't realize is that consistent hygiene doesn't just benefit physical health, it also has a powerful psychological impact. Those who adopt this daily practice often report feeling fresher, more confident, and more in control of their well-being. It's a simple shift that can completely transform how you view your body and your self-care as you age. How we see ourselves, especially as we grow older, has a profound effect on how we care for our bodies. In a society that often sidelines older men and subtly suggests that their physical health is no longer worth maintaining, self-perception becomes more powerful than ever. But here's the truth. When you treat penile hygiene with the same seriousness and consistency as brushing your teeth or managing your heart health, you're doing more than protecting your body. You're affirming your self-worth, dignity, and sense of control. You're reminding yourself that you matter. So, if you're still watching and these insights have resonated with you so far, I'd love to know. Drop a comment below with the number 1 to let me know you're still here with me. I truly appreciate your time and attention. It means a lot. Now, let's move into a topic that's rarely spoken about but vitally important: the risks of sexual activity when the body isn't fully ready. Specifically, the danger of engaging in intercourse with only a partial erection. It might seem like a minor issue in the moment, especially when emotions are high and the desire to connect is strong. But this seemingly small oversight can have lasting and painful consequences. In my practice, I've seen more men than you might imagine suffer injuries during intimacy because they didn't realize how vulnerable the penis can be when not fully erect. The structure of the penis is far more delicate than it appears. It's composed of intricate networks of blood vessels, sponge-like erectile tissue, and smooth muscle. Without full rigidity, it simply doesn't have the strength to handle the physical pressure of penetration. So what happens when you push forward anyway? Microtraumas begin to form. Tiny internal injuries that may not cause immediate pain, but quietly accumulate over time. These repeated stresses can lead to the development of scar tissue. That tissue begins to harden and tighten, often resulting in a condition known as Peyronie's disease. This buildup of micro-injuries can eventually lead to painful penile curvature, a condition that can make intercourse not only difficult but, in some cases, nearly impossible. I've counseled many men who, due to embarrassment or a belief that it would resolve on its own, delayed seeking help. Unfortunately, by the time they did, the condition had worsened. What many of them discovered later was that early action could have significantly reduced the long-term impact. The solution, thankfully, is simple, but essential. Prioritize both patience and preparation. Before engaging in intercourse, ensure you're fully erect. This can be achieved through adequate foreplay, the use of lubricants, or, if necessary, medically approved erectile aids. These tools aren't just about performance. They're about protecting the intricate structure of your body and maintaining your long-term function. Open and honest communication with your partner is also key. Talking about pacing and comfort can relieve the pressure to rush and create a more connected, mutually satisfying experience. This isn't about weakness. It's about being informed, thoughtful, and proactive about your health, an act of wisdom, not fragility. Now, let's turn our attention to an increasingly modern obstacle that affects more than just physical health. It touches emotional well-being, intimacy, and even relationships. The growing over-reliance on pornography. In today's world, where adult content is more accessible than ever, many men, especially those who are dealing with loneliness, grief, or a loss of connection, turn to pornography as a seemingly safe and private outlet. But over time, this habit can reshape how your brain responds to arousal. Pornography often trains the mind to expect highly specific, exaggerated, and often unrealistic scenarios. Gradually, this can lead to desensitization, where real-life intimacy no longer elicits the same level of excitement. Some men begin to question their physical capabilities, when in fact, it's not a failure of the body. It's a rewired pattern of stimulation created by overexposure. I've worked with numerous men in their 60s and 70s who were surprised to learn that their challenges weren't rooted in biology, but in habit. Reducing that exposure and shifting focus back to genuine human connection can help restore a healthier, more fulfilling experience of intimacy. Whether through partnered intimacy, emotional bonding, or mindful self-exploration, redirecting your focus toward authentic experiences can gradually restore balance and bring deeper satisfaction to your real-world relationships. By committing to these foundational principles, staying sexually active, maintaining proper hygiene, approaching intimacy with caution, and nurturing genuine emotional connections, you're not just preserving penile health, you're also safeguarding your confidence, dignity, and vitality as you age with purpose and pride. Now, let's dig deeper into a more hidden, yet powerful force affecting sexual well-being: the psychological weight of excessive pornography use and its ripple effect on emotional health. In truth, many of the issues older men face with intimacy or desire don't stem from physical limitations at all. They're rooted in mental conditioning, shaped over years, often unknowingly. When pornography becomes more than an occasional curiosity, when it turns into a daily habit or emotional escape, it starts to rewire the brain's arousal system. The constant exposure to exaggerated, fast-paced, highly stimulating images begins to alter how the brain responds to real-life intimacy. Over time, natural cues, like the presence of a loving partner or the quiet closeness of a moment, no longer feel enough. What once sparked excitement now seems dull, creating a frustrating gap between expectation and reality. But the impact doesn't stop at the physical. There's a deeper emotional toll that often goes unspoken. Many men confide that they feel ashamed, guilty, or even broken when they realize how dependent they've become on this digital world of stimulation. What starts as a private habit can quietly replace real connection, leading to withdrawal from partners, fear of judgment, or isolation from social circles. This secrecy can weigh heavily, causing men to question their masculinity, their desirability, or even their capacity to love and be loved. And for men already navigating the emotional terrain of aging, dealing with loneliness, loss, or change, these burdens only grow heavier. These emotional complexities become even more layered with age, especially in a society that places such high expectations on performance, youth, and virility. Many older men already carry a quiet burden, questions about their worth, their masculinity, and their place in a rapidly changing world. I've had heartfelt conversations with patients in their 60s who describe feeling detached not only from their partners, but also from themselves. They speak of a cycle that starts with the search for quick satisfaction through pornography, only to be followed by a hollow emptiness that's hard to shake. This isn't about blaming or labeling. It's not a moral shortcoming. Rather, it's a deeply human reaction to a digital culture that offers constant, immediate stimulation, but rarely delivers the emotional nourishment we truly need. Over time, that emotional gap can feel wider, compounding other challenges that come with aging, like navigating retirement, dealing with shifting roles in the family, or adjusting to physical changes that were never talked about openly. That's why I want to stress something important. This is a call for moderation, not for shame. Let's be absolutely clear. There's no judgment here. Pornography is part of the modern landscape, and for many, it's a private outlet that serves a purpose. I'm not urging you to give it up entirely or to adopt a rigid, guilt-driven mindset. What I am advocating for is a shift toward intentional use. If pornography plays a role in your life, let it be a small one, a supplement, not a substitute, for real, meaningful connection. The deeper goal is to retrain and rediscover your natural pathways to arousal, those sparked by your imagination, your memories, or the emotional closeness you share with a partner. It may take some time, but the reward is well worth it. This process could involve reigniting interest through longer, more intentional foreplay, where touch, conversation, and anticipation build real desire. It may mean having those open, sometimes uncomfortable talks with your partner about what you need and crave, even if those words feel unfamiliar on your tongue. And sometimes, it's as simple as allowing yourself to feel desire freely, without the pressure to meet some impossible standard or perform on cue. Because aging doesn't mean losing your ability to feel passion, it means learning how to reconnect with it in deeper, more fulfilling ways. Desire, contrary to popular belief, doesn't disappear with age. It transforms. It matures, asking not for speed or urgency, but for patience, presence, and deeper connection. One of my patients shared a beautiful example. He and his wife, after years of routine and emotional distance, began setting aside time for quiet date nights at home. There were no expectations, no pressure, just space for laughter, conversation, and gentle touch. Gradually, this helped them rediscover each other, rekindle their intimacy, and restore a sense of connection that pornography had once dulled. What changed? Not just the behavior, but the intention. These small, deliberate acts gave them back control over their intimacy, reminding them that desire is not static. It's a living, evolving part of us that thrives when nurtured with care and compassion. Reclaiming pleasure in this way isn't about denying gratification. It's about refining it. By limiting the overuse of pornography, you're not giving up pleasure. You're inviting it to return in a more sustainable, satisfying form. When the mind and body are aligned, pleasure becomes deeper and more meaningful. You're not just chasing a momentary thrill. You're creating an experience that touches both your body and your heart. That's what true mind-body harmony looks like, where your physical sensations and emotional well-being support each other, not work against each other. And that harmony doesn't just live in the bedroom. It seeps into every part of your life. Your energy, your confidence, your relationships, even how you carry yourself day to day. But when that balance is off, when disconnection, shame, or guilt dominate, it's impossible not to feel the impact. It shows up in your self-esteem, in how you relate to others, and in your ability to feel joy. That's why prioritizing real connection, whether it's through deep intimacy with your partner, solo self-awareness, or simply imagination, is so vital. It reawakens a sense of wholeness. It brings you back to yourself. And with that foundation in place, we're ready to explore the next critical piece: how your lifestyle, not pills or quick fixes, can be the most powerful medicine for maintaining sexual health, energy, and vitality as you age. If there's one thing I've learned from working with men over 60, it's this: lifestyle is the most powerful and consistent force driving your sexual health, far more than any pill or quick prescription. So many patients walk into my office hoping for a miracle cure, some magic bullet that will instantly bring back the vitality they feel slipping away. And I get it. A pill feels easy. It's immediate. It offers a promise of control in a moment where you might feel like you're losing it. But here's the hard truth. No medication can truly rival the deep, lasting impact of a lifestyle built on healthy habits. Your day-to-day choices, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how you manage stress, are the real building blocks of vitality. These habits fuel the systems that govern everything from your cardiovascular health to your hormone balance to your mental sharpness. And guess what? Sexual function is intricately woven into all of them. Take erections, for example. They rely heavily on strong, consistent blood flow. That circulation is only as good as the health of your heart and blood vessels. So when men regularly smoke, drink excessively, or consume diets high in processed or sugary foods, they're not just harming their heart. They're quietly damaging the very pathways that support sexual performance. It's not just about desire. it's about biology. In fact, erectile dysfunction, or ED, is often one of the earliest signs that something deeper is wrong. Sometimes, it shows up years before more serious events like heart attacks or strokes. Think of it as your body's internal alarm system, whispering that it's time to pay attention before that whisper becomes a scream. I recall one particular patient, a 62-year-old man, who came to me feeling embarrassed and frustrated about his ED. After running a few tests, we discovered early-stage heart disease. Instead of turning to medication as a first step, he committed to real lifestyle changes, quitting smoking, shifting to a Mediterranean-style diet, and making walking a part of his daily routine. The results were remarkable. His sexual function returned, yes, but so did his overall health, energy, and sense of well-being. More importantly, we likely prevented a future heart attack. His journey is a powerful reminder that sexual health isn't isolated. It's a reflection of your total vitality. It tells a bigger story about what's happening inside your body, and that story is one you have the power to change. If you're still here and finding these insights valuable, I'd love to hear from you. Please comment the number 2 below. Your feedback lets me know you're still with me on this journey. Thank you sincerely for sharing your time today. Now let's talk about something incredibly encouraging: the immediate benefits of making healthy choices. You don't have to wait years to feel the rewards. In fact, the body begins to respond within days. When you quit smoking, your blood vessels start to repair themselves almost immediately, allowing for better circulation that benefits your entire body, including your sexual health. Reducing alcohol consumption can also bring your testosterone levels back into a healthier range, especially important since those levels tend to drop naturally as we age. Even small, consistent steps can trigger powerful changes. Walking for just 30 minutes a day, or incorporating nutrient-rich foods like blueberries, spinach, or salmon into your meals can dramatically improve vascular health and boost your overall energy. These aren't just acts of prevention, they are acts of enrichment. You're not simply avoiding disease, you're actively building a better version of your life. I've seen it time and time again in my practice. One gentleman in his late 60s started taking morning walks with his dog. What began as a gentle stroll turned into a daily ritual that improved his stamina, gave him something to look forward to, and even helped him sleep better at night. Over time, he felt less anxious, more grounded, and to his surprise, his libido returned, naturally, without medication. These ripple effects are profound. They prove that healthy living isn't about restriction. It's about empowerment. It's about investing in a version of yourself that feels alive, present, and strong. What brings me the greatest joy is witnessing men discover that their bodies aren't broken. They're simply waiting to be cared for. I've seen patients swap soda for water, protect their sleep like it's sacred, and reignite long-forgotten hobbies that make them smile. They stop depending on pills, not because they're giving up, but because they've built something much more powerful, a foundation of lasting, life-affirming habits. Supporting your sexual health isn't just about one area of your life. It radiates into your confidence, your relationships, and your overall well-being. That's why this conversation calls not for shame, but for balance. Let me be absolutely clear. This is not a place of judgment. Pornography is part of the modern world. I'm not here to tell you to eliminate it entirely, nor am I suggesting guilt over your choices. What I'm advocating for is intentional moderation. If pornography plays a role in your life, let it be an occasional supplement, not a replacement, for genuine human connection. The real goal is to reawaken your natural arousal pathways, the ones that come alive through imagination, shared emotion, or memories with someone meaningful. This shift doesn't mean giving up pleasure. It means rediscovering it in a form that feels more connected and fulfilling. For some men, this might involve spending more time engaging in foreplay, focusing on the slow build of desire through touch, laughter, and conversation. For others, It could mean having those real, sometimes vulnerable conversations with a partner about what you truly want and need. And sometimes, it's as simple as allowing yourself to feel desire, without rushing to perform or live up to some rigid expectation. Because here's a truth we often forget. Aging doesn't diminish desire. It reshapes it. It calls for presence, patience, and deeper awareness, rather than instant gratification. One of my patients shared a beautiful story. He and his wife, both in their 60s, decided to set aside one night a week just for themselves. No distractions, no expectations. They cooked dinner together, shared stories, held hands, and simply enjoyed each other's company. Over time, this gentle, consistent connection rebuilt both their emotional intimacy and physical closeness. Their reliance on screens faded, and their bond grew stronger. These small, conscious choices can create a profound ripple effect. They allow you to reclaim control over your own sexual health, reminding you that desire is not fixed. It's something that evolves and flourishes when nurtured with care. Cultivating mind-body harmony isn't about giving up pleasure. It's about reclaiming it in a way that feels genuine, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. Reducing reliance on pornography isn't a punishment. It's a way to return to a richer experience of intimacy, one where your physical sensations and emotional connection move in sync. Too often, excessive porn use places all the focus on stimulation, sidelining connection, and throwing your body and mind out of alignment. But when you break away from that cycle, you create space for something deeper. You open the door to a kind of pleasure that nourishes you, not just physically, but emotionally too. This harmony matters more than most people realize, because true sexual health isn't confined to the bedroom. It's reflected in how you carry yourself, how you feel in your own skin, and how you relate to others every single day. When men feel caught in a loop of shame or emotional distance, it spills over into their self-esteem, their interactions, and even their energy levels. But when you shift your focus back to real connection, whether it's with a partner, your imagination, or yourself, you start to feel grounded again. That reconnection becomes the bedrock of true, lasting sexual well-being. And now, this sets the stage for one of the most powerful elements of all, lifestyle. The real game changer. If there's one consistent truth I've learned over decades of working with men over the age of 60, it's this. Your lifestyle choices have a far greater influence on your sexual health than any pill or prescription ever could. Many patients come into my office hoping for a quick fix. They want something instant, an easy solution that can give them back the energy or function they feel they've lost. And I get it. Pills are convenient. They seem like a shortcut to restoring performance. But here's the reality. Nothing beats the long-term, transformative effects of daily, healthy habits. Your lifestyle is what fuels everything, from the way your heart pumps blood, to the balance of your hormones, to the sharpness of your thinking. And sexual function, perhaps more than anything else, is deeply intertwined with the health of these systems. Let's take a closer look at how deeply interconnected your lifestyle choices are with your sexual function. Erections, for instance, depend on strong, consistent blood flow, and that hinges on the overall health of your heart and blood vessels. So when you smoke, consume alcohol excessively, or regularly eat processed, high-fat foods, you're not just damaging your cardiovascular health. You're also restricting circulation to essential areas of your body, including your penis. In fact, erectile dysfunction, commonly known as ED, is often one of the earliest signs of cardiovascular trouble. It can surface years before a heart attack or stroke, acting as a crucial signal that something more serious is brewing beneath the surface. Your body speaks in whispers before it screams, and ED is one of those early whispers that shouldn't be ignored. I recall working with a 62-year-old patient who came in, clearly frustrated by his ongoing struggles with ED. He assumed it was just age catching up with him. But after running a few diagnostic tests, we uncovered early-stage heart disease. That discovery changed everything. By taking control of his lifestyle, quitting smoking, adopting a Mediterranean-style diet, and incorporating a brisk 30-minute walk into his daily routine, he didn't just restore his sexual function. He significantly lowered his risk of a future heart attack. That journey served as a powerful reminder that your sexual health is not isolated. It reflects your overall well-being. If you're still here and finding value in what we're discussing, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a number 2 in the comments. That way, I know you're watching and walking this path with me. Thank you again for your time and your trust. Let's now talk about the immediate wins. Because here's the truth. Healthy choices don't just pay off down the road. They can spark noticeable changes almost right away. When you stop smoking, your blood vessels begin to recover within days. Circulation improves, oxygen delivery increases. Even cutting back on alcohol can help rebalance your hormones, especially testosterone, which often drops due to age or long-term drinking. And what about small, everyday actions? Something as simple as walking for 30 minutes or adding more blueberries, leafy greens, and salmon into your meals can enhance vascular function and boost your daily energy. These aren't just feel-good habits. They're powerful investments in your longevity and vitality. Adding nutrient-rich foods like spinach or salmon to your meals does more than just support your arteries. It actively boosts your energy levels and promotes stronger circulation throughout the body. These aren't just preventative steps. They're transformative choices that enhance the quality of your everyday life. In fact, many of my patients who commit to healthier habits often describe feeling more alive, confident, and engaged in both their relationships and routines. One man in his late 60s shared with me how something as simple as a daily morning walk with his dog changed everything. Not only did it increase his stamina, but it also rekindled his sense of purpose. He began sleeping more soundly, felt less anxious throughout the day, and, perhaps most remarkably, noticed his libido beginning to return naturally. These ripple effects are a powerful testament. Lifestyle isn't some tedious obligation. It's a genuine opportunity to reconnect with who you are, to feel more like you again. What I find most inspiring is when men realize that their bodies aren't broken or beyond repair. Quite the opposite. Your body is responsive, eager to adapt to the care and intention you give it. I've seen remarkable transformations, simply from small, sustainable changes. Swapping out sugary sodas for water, making sleep a nightly priority, rediscovering hobbies that once brought joy. It's in these seemingly minor choices that lasting health takes root. And what's most profound is that these new habits don't just improve sexual health. They elevate your entire sense of well-being. Now, let's turn to a surprisingly simple habit that often catches people off guard: sleeping without underwear. At first, it may sound trivial or even odd, but after decades of clinical experience, I've learned how the smallest adjustments, especially when repeated consistently, can create meaningful shifts in health. Opting to sleep nude or in loose-fitting boxers actually supports your body's overnight repair processes, particularly when it comes to sexual function. During sleep, men naturally experience spontaneous erections, something called nocturnal penile tumescence. These nighttime events are more than just biological quirks. They're critical for keeping the erectile tissue oxygenated and responsive. So, what if your nighttime clothing is interfering with that process? These nighttime erections, known as nocturnal penile tumescence, NPT, aren't just random biological events. They're actually vital. They help maintain healthy erectile tissue by delivering much-needed oxygen and promoting proper blood flow. But here's something many men overlook. Wearing tight underwear or restrictive sleepwear can interfere with this natural process. When your body is compressed during these spontaneous erections, it can reduce circulation, cause irritation, and even lead to long-term issues. Over time, that constant pressure may cause micro-traumas or internal scarring, and in some cases, it can contribute to a condition called Peyronie's disease. This condition, which affects many older men, causes painful curvature of the penis and can significantly impact both physical intimacy and emotional well-being. But the fix is surprisingly simple. Give your body the space it needs to function properly at night. Sleeping nude or switching to loose-fitting boxers allows for better airflow, reduces friction, and gives your body the freedom to restore itself naturally. One of my patients, a 65-year-old retired teacher, was skeptical when I first suggested this. But after just a few months of adjusting his sleepwear habits, he reported significantly less discomfort during morning erections and felt a greater sense of ease in his body overall. It was a small change, but it made a big difference in his daily comfort and confidence. What might seem like a minor detail can, when combined with other positive habits, support lasting improvement in sexual health and overall vitality. And that brings us to a powerful truth. Reclaiming your confidence and dignity isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring who you are now and making choices that support that version of yourself. As men enter their 60s, 70s, and beyond, it's not uncommon to feel like conversations around sexual health are no longer relevant or too uncomfortable to bring up. But here's the reality. Your connection to your body doesn't fade with time. It changes, matures, and deepens. Each strategy we've explored, limiting pornography, adopting a healthy lifestyle, choosing better sleep habits, isn't just medical guidance. It's a declaration of self-respect, a commitment to your own vitality, a reminder that you still matter. Sexual health isn't just about performance. It's about self-worth, presence, and connection. When you take consistent steps to care for your body, you're not just preventing problems. You're actively reclaiming the dignity, confidence, and intimacy that make life rich at any age. Confidence, presence, and genuine joy aren't reserved for the young. I've seen countless men regain these very qualities, not by trying to recapture the past, but by embracing the present stage of life with purpose and pride. They stand taller, laugh more freely, and form deeper connections with their partners, friends, and even with themselves. These transformations don't happen overnight, but they begin with something powerful, a decision to show up for themselves. If you've been struggling in silence, please hear this. You are not alone. It's never too late to start over, to reclaim your vitality, or to feel like yourself again. Every single day offers a fresh opportunity to make one small but meaningful choice. Maybe it's taking a brisk morning walk, preparing a nourishing meal, or having an open conversation with someone you love. These choices might seem simple, but they're far from insignificant. Your health doesn't determine your worth, but how you care for your health. That speaks volumes. It's a reflection of how much attention and value you give to yourself. When you make time to care for your body, your mind, and your relationships, you're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you matter, that you're still here, that your life has meaning and momentum. You deserve to feel strong, connected, and at peace. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm Dr. Moit Ka, and I'm honored you joined me on this journey to not only protect your sexual health, but also to elevate your confidence, dignity, and vitality as you age. I hope the 5 science-backed strategies we discussed, along with that surprising bonus tip, have given you something truly useful, something real, something you can carry into the next chapter of your life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one key takeaway from this video that really spoke to you? Was it the power of daily movement? The importance of proper hygiene? Or maybe the simple act of sleeping without restrictive clothing? Whatever insight resonated with you, please take a moment to share it in the comments. You never know, your story might inspire someone else to begin their own journey toward healing and confidence. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone you care about who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more science-based, practical health tips designed to help you live stronger, longer, and prouder. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You absolutely deserve it. Wishing you great health, deep happiness, and lasting peace.